Hey guys, this is B Word here at the Bleach Brothers podcast. Just a friendly reminder that we are sponsored by Jerky Pro, and if you are a fan of jerky, make sure to go to www.jerky.pro. Use code BleachBros5 at checkout to get yourself a little bit of a discount. Both Jake and I are huge fans of jerky, and Jake working in the beef industry and me being just a fellow fat kid, we absolutely swear by Jerky Pro. You will not miss out by ordering Jerky Pro. Do not let some of the sticker shock you. There are free shipping options, multiple flavors, etc., so forth. If you do order Jerky Pro, make sure to use code BleachBros5 at checkout.
I am Tyler Havlin. I am the big, the bald, the beautiful, the brash, and the oftentimes bastardly host of the Inner Idiot podcast. And you are currently listening to While I Masturbate, the Bleach Bros podcast.
Bleach Bros, bro. Welcome into the Bleach Brothers podcast. This is B-Word, and as usual, I am here with my good buddy Jake. Jake, this is the first year we're recording this right now in the World Series. It's bottom of the ninth. Rangers are coming up, and they're looking to win. Scores 5-0 right now, and the Diamondbacks are getting ready to take the plate. But this has been the first year, dude, where I've actually followed a team in baseball longer than the World Series. You know, for a long time, I've listened to Dallas area radio, so tangentially, I get to hear all the other sports, you know, the Rangers and the Mavs.
Yeah, all the bullshit
Stars
Texas
and all that
stuff.
sort of shit. Yeah, so I've followed this team all year long, and dude, the World Series, I've watched every single game so far. I'm going to miss the bottom of the ninth. I'm following from my phone. But when this episode comes out, the winner should have already.
The Rangers will win.
Should have already won. So. Yeah, dude, it's kind of fun. I mean, I used to be kind of sort of a Diamondbacks fan, like when they first started. Randy Johnson, you know, he threw and he fucking blew up the bird. I thought that was pretty funny. And the Reno Aces, where I live, are the farm team or the AAA for the Diamondbacks. So, there's always that right there. And I've never really chose a team, dude. And I don't know. I hate being the person that watches a team win the World Series or whatever the championship is and be like, oh, I fucking love that team. But right now, dude, I've followed this team the entire year and I absolutely love it. I'm loving it.
Nice. See, I love it because the Hillsboro Hops are also a minor team for the Diamondbacks.
Okay.
Up here.
Okay.
So there's affiliations there because I had some of my friends. Actually, one of our friends, Brandon Sprague, the show comes on quite a bit. His producer, Swag, calls games for the Hops. So they were asking him this morning why he didn't get flown down with the rest of the Hillsboro Hops people. And he said, well, I'm a part-time employee. And he goes, well, will you get a ring? Because typically, I guess it's tradition. They'll honor a lot of the minor people and stuff like that too. Yeah. I didn't know that. And I don't know all the little details on it. That's pretty cool. But the other funny thing is Noam, our buddy, is a big
I'm finding that out. Yeah.
And he actually bet on the Diamondbacks to win because I didn't know this stat. He told me that the year that they won with Randy Johnson was the year the bird exploded. So
that was 2001, right? Or 2002? Okay.
2001. And that was when he threw the pitch and it hit the bird and it exploded.
Yeah,
well, I guess that happened again this year at Diamondback Stadium.
Oh, no shit.
And Noam said the day that happened, he went down to the sports book and did it on his phone, because him and Dome were making fun of me for actually having slips. But they did it on there. He bet the Diamondbacks would win and got great odds on it. And he just said, I just had a feeling that day. And I mean, they went, so good for him.
Yeah.
I got money on the Rangers. So I had money on, and him and I talked about it. The only thing I'm mad about is I had an actual bet on the exact outcome. And it's going to lose because I predicted that the Diamondbacks would have won last game and the Rangers would win tonight. And then they would have went to game 7 and the Rangers would have won the next one.
Right.
So since the Rangers won last game, my bet automatically loses anyways. But still a great series. Fun. I'm glad you're watching it because I love the World Series. It's one of my favorite
I do too.
Times a year.
Yeah.
But it's fun when you start following a team too. And baseball's different. Baseball's different. And we can say it's stupid or whatever, but it's the sense because it's a long fucking season. So the beginning,
dude,
opening
so
day
many games. There's so many games.
Opening day is awesome, right? And then you got spring training. You can do that too and everything. And then people getting that lull where they fall off.
Right.
And then fall starts happening. You're like, all right, where's my team? And a lot of people go, okay, where am I at? and then they get into okay, where are we at with the playoffs? All right, is my team going to win the pennant and all that? And then it gets real exciting again. And I'm not a casual fan. You know me, I'm a big baseball fan.
Yep.
I'm a big Mets fan, but I wish the Diamondbacks would go back to the turquoise and purple though.
Oh, dude, those were fantastic uniforms.
I like the black and red, but every fucking team has black and red, dude.
Yeah,
it's just like a common thing.
You know what I feel like? I feel like it's the new. Oh shit! All right, it is official.
It's over.
The Texas Rangers are World Series champions. That is fantastic. So yeah, good for the Texas Rangers. I feel like the uniforms for the Diamondbacks are very similar, not in look, but in the way that they transitioned to the Utah Jazz. I hate the Utah Jazz outfits now, or even the Phoenix Suns. I absolutely just hate all of those now. And I
same
love
with the Memphis
Grizzlies.
Ones. Because when the Vancouver Grizzlies originally came out, they sort of had that color scheme. Because that was the big thing. It was to get an animal, get the slash marks on the T-shirt,
right?
Have like those off colors of each other, and like run with it. And then they went all away from that.
One of these days, I know we've talked about, specifically NBA uniforms, but one of these days, dude, we'll have an episode where we actually go through like all sports uniforms and do some rankings. I think that'd be fucking awesome. So, you and I actually haven't talked since we recorded last week. No. So how's your week been?
It's been good, busy. Still training people at work. My brother flew into town, so him and I have just been hanging out. It's funny. The first day he got here was super nice, and then now the weather hits where it's been cold and just wet. And it was funny. Like we got up today and didn't do much, right? Like I worked and stuff, but like he came out and he goes, so today's a perfect day to hang inside. And he hang inside. We ate food, and we got cozy by the fire, watched movies, watched sports. We were watching hockey earlier. And then he looks over and he goes, now I know why you guys stay inside a fucking lot. Because it's nonstop. It's been raining all day. And it's like 15 different kinds of rain, as I explained, but it's just fucking cold and wet. And there's just, you can't go out there. Like there's just no rhyme or reason to be outside during this. Because there's that never ending river in the streets, even if you're not seeing rain. And then all of a sudden you walk out and it's still hitting you in the face. But yeah, no,
do you have Forrest Gump rain over there where you got big old fat rain?
Well, that's how I used to describe it.
Stinging rain.
Yeah. So I used to call, the main ones I always called was piss in your face rain, where you're walking and it's windy and it's like blowing in your face, right?
Yeah.
I had Eeyore rain, which I did not know existed till I moved here. And Eeyore rain is when you're walking and it's only raining on you and you could see where it's dry, but it's following you. And you could turn around and see that it's dry behind you too, that it's no longer raining. That is a thing. And I did not believe it until I lived here. And I remember I was walking blocks to work from Nordstrom one time after lunch. And the rain just fucking followed me for like 18 blocks.
Right.
And I'm like, this is a joke. There's hard rain, there's soft rain, there's invisible rain. I mean, it really is a thing. And it is funny when you start meeting people up here, like the descriptions that you get of rain. Like, and it's just like living anywhere.
Yep.
Like one of the sayings up here that I think is just absolutely fucking asinine and dumb is the mountains are out.
Oh, that is dumb.
I get it. Okay, I get it because it's cloudy all the time, right? So it's like, oh, yeah, there's the mountains. You can actually see them today. The mountains are out. But people say it all the time. And it's like when you see a crappy sports announcer like learn a new term and they won't stop saying it. Yeah. Or you meet that one friend that gets into a hobby like, oh, I'm going to get into craft brewing. And then they keep using the terms that like the famous terms, like
like ABV and like
and
all that sort of shit.
That's all they talk to try to sound smart and see that they're part of the club. But it's like, dude, it's like me walking around saying fleek. I'm never gonna fucking be that way. Like I'm just a white loser. Like it doesn't gonna work. Shut the fuck up.
Speaking of fleek, last night I fell asleep pretty early last night, but last night I started watching this show or this movie, on Netflix called Old Dads. You had a chance to watch
fucking
that
love
yet?
that movie. I picked that for movie night with me and the wife because
I haven't finished it yet, so don't spoil it for me. But I got about a third of the way through or whatever, and you got the dude who was an Ant-Man, and he's like talking to the black receptionist or whatever, and he's like fleekety fleek, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, just stop. So
my wife says that's me as Bill Burr, like especially when he calls her a stumpy cunt. And he's like yelling at the teacher. Like my wife just kept looking over during the movie going, I know why you picked this. And two, she goes, that's you. Like that's you, like to a T, like when we're out. That's Jake the Haters documentary right there. Like when I've had those moments at my kid's school. I've had those moments with employees, like everything. And it just pisses. It does. That whole movie just was like, I was sitting there going, I'm so pissed off right now. I fucking hate people sometimes.
Well, I thought of two people when I plugged it in. I thought of you and I thought of Aaron, and I was like, oh my God, if you guys haven't seen this should. I'm disappointed. I slept through it, or I fell asleep in it, I should say, and I didn't fall asleep because it was boring, but then of course with the World Series and work and everything, I just haven't had a chance to finish it. So I'll probably finish it either tonight or tomorrow night and go from there. But that being the case, dude, I have a dumb rundown this week. It's
dumb,
just fucking
stupid,
done. It is
retarded.
Absolutely dumb. I didn't really know what we were doing this week, and I figured I'd just throw a rundown out there. And I just wanted to put dumb in every category. So this is probably the dumbest podcast episode that we've probably ever done. This is probably going to be dumb. And that being the case, I hope that we get reviews that says this is a dumb podcast.
What word do you like better to describe it? Stupid or dumb?
Dumb.
Why
dumb? Because the B is silent.
I'm going to start pronouncing it now.
Dumba. It's Dumba. That's fine. It's
dumb.
a dumb episode.
It's dumb.
It's absolutely dumb. But so first up, I wanted to talk about somebody who recently did something absolutely stupid or absolutely dumb. And it just is funny. So I've got this coworker, and I've mentioned her before. She's a 7 foot tall lesbian. I found out that, and she's, probably 400 pounds, but I found out that she's not actually a lesbian. She is polyamorous. Now, I am not as familiar with the whole polyamorous thing. I'm going to say it's something
dumb. I hate that I'm familiar with this, but it's par for the course for where I live.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I don't judge people's lives, right? But this person has a partner who goes by the they thems, and I've generally kept to the they thems when I've been referring to this person's partner. But this person's partner has a boyfriend, and the boyfriend is married. And my coworker is now dating a dude who is also married, and they just don't believe in monogamy. Like that's just the whole
thing. It's a polyamorous relationship.
Yeah. And so here's what's dumb about it. Not what they're doing, because I don't really care what they're doing. Prior to said new boyfriend, everybody lived in the same house together with 4 other polyamorous people.
Okay.
I don't ask questions, so a lot of this information is just offered up. Again, because I just choose not to know. But the 4 other people, 2 of them being my coworker's partner, and one other person who was in the house, I'm not sure the gender or the affiliation there, apparently got into some sort of a fist fight. Now, they were raising kids in this household. I think there were 3 kids under the age of 5. And the one person who isn't part of this polyamorous relationship anymore punched the they them who's apparently disabled. So this person has a disability. So this is the dumbest story that I've ever heard, because I think disability, bro, and shame on me, I think Down syndrome.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I think of. And I love Down syndrome people. They're like the happiest people in the entire world. But when you tell me somebody's disabled, I don't go to, oh, they're missing their legs. Oh, they have an arm that's 4 sizes too small. Oh, they have, an any penis. I think Down syndrome. So I'm asking the question, a follow-up question here. And I'm like, why would they hit? Bro, I'm telling you this right now. I said, why would they hit somebody with Down syndrome? It was a reaction. And I haven't asked a single question until this point. Turns out I was right. Her partner has Down syndrome. So I work with somebody who is in a polyamorous relationship with a down they them, and the down they them has a boyfriend. The coworker has a boyfriend, and somebody hauled off and hit a downy. And that's just dumb. The whole story of that's dumb. I didn't really know how else to say that. There's like not some bigger punchline, but I felt dirty. I felt dirty once I heard the story. I felt dangerous by throwing out the they them dumb thing, and it turned out to be true. So that's my recent story about something stupid.
I like this. I have a similar one with swingers. I don't know if I've told this one, but There's a lot up here. I mean, there's a lot everywhere. Let's be honest. If you see a pineapple on a bar,
Yep.
upside down pineapples on a shirt or shorts, just so people are aware, that means they're swingers. I've been picked up by a few, never went through with it, but you know what I mean? Like it's happened. You've been around maybe where these things happen. So I went on a date with this girl who apparently had a huge crush on me when I worked at Nordstrom and was single. And she asked me out, and we ended up going out, and we're sitting there talking. And as I've always said on this show, I appreciate people for who they are. And I've mentioned that line a lot, so I can keep saying it. But people that have listened to this show enough, fans know me, that I appreciate people who just admit who they are and act as they are and just be truthful, right?
Right.
So the one thing I enjoyed about her is she flat out, right out the gate, pretty much told me she was a swinger. What she was into, very proud of it. The reason she was asking me out, all these things, right? And I said, oh, okay. So are you in a relationship now? She goes, no. And now here's where the story gets dumb. She broke up with the guy because he cheated on her. So in my brain, just like your Down syndrome like story where you had a question, I had a question, which apparently was a stupid question that I asked because how dare me? But I went, it's not cheating. You're in it. And then she started explaining the rules to me. And I'm like, I mean, here's why I like the relationship styles that I'm in. And I mean, anybody can do whatever they want out there. But
Sure.
there are unwritten, it's like men's bathrooms, right? There are unwritten rules of my relationship. Like I don't fuck anybody else. I don't do other things. I don't cheat on my wife emotionally. Like, you know, the basic rules that you know of any partnership typically, right?
Right.
Now, I understand I'm not a swinger, so I'm not apt with their basic rules. But you got to understand, when you take somebody out and you tell them you're a swinger, and then the other person goes, oh, I'm not, I've never done that. And then they ask a question, like you asked, you know, you heard a disabled person, you thought Downey. I literally thought, okay, that's not cheating. And then I was told no, because he never asked. And I said, well, do you have to ask? And she said, no, I'm allowed to do what I want. He's not. So I'm like, this is all kinds of fucked up, right?
Right.
So I finally just look at her, and I'm realizing at this point in the date, it's not going to work. And I just go, why did you really ask me? And she goes, well, you just look a little slutty, Jake, and I thought it would work out. And I just went, yay me today. I mean, I've never also been told that, like as a man, like, and I'm not saying it's wrong, but I was told I look a little slutty. And so I was asked out by a swinger thinking that I would be into this. And also that I think she just thought I was one. And I mean, there, just like your story, there was no real finish or punchline. It was just like, okay, see you later, paid the bill, left. I was really hoping some other guy came up and paid for it, just like a swinger relationship, you know, the DP
Right.
Eiffel Tower, but that did not happen. But dude, I don't know. That's why I try to really just stay out of people's relationship stuff, because I don't understand. I have a friend that's dating in a polyamorous one, and he's dating a unicorn. And I don't know if you know what a unicorn is.
What the fuck is a unicorn?
So a unicorn is a really hot young girl who essentially you hire as a nanny and is just there to bang you and your wife. And this was explained to me, but then it was backed up by facts, which is not dumb. I enjoyed this. I went, what the hell are you talking about? Why are they called unicorns? And he pulled up Craigslist when this was legal at the time, and he goes, watch this. And he opened like the want ads, and it said, want ad, looking for family, 21 female unicorn to move in. And I'm like, what is this? He goes, you get a built-in nanny and a built-in pocket pussy, and then you and your wife could have fun with her whenever you want. And essentially she or he, I guess, live there to pretty much take care of your kids and be the third member of the family, but all you're doing is banging them.
Wow.
That's a thing.
I don't really know how I feel about that either. Like, to each their own. Like, whatever you do in your bedroom is different than whatever I do in my bedroom is different than whatever whoever does in their bedroom. Like, that's just where I'm at. But
let me just say, when I offered to bring a unicorn home, my wife thought I meant a stuffed animal, and then did not go over well. But
so you had to kick Pedro out on the street. That's
I had
too
to
bad.
kick him out. He's a they them. Yeah,
that's too bad.
No.
So the next thing on the rundown here was I decided after reading some local news articles, especially ones that made national headlines, that sometimes when people decide to become famous, they just do some dumb stuff, and I just thought, you know, I feel like these people have to be showcased somewhere. And God bless the New York Post, because here we are in the New York Post, an article dated on September 8th of this year, highlights a Las Vegas rapper who allegedly confessed to being the perpetrator of a murder in his music video. And I thought, well, how dumb could you be? And so apparently Ken One, I imagine that's how his name is. It looks like Ken and One, but one word. McDaniel, who was 25 at the time of the arrest, apparently posted a video on YouTube, and his song is called Fady Free, if it's still up and people would like to watch it. And he was arrested by the Las Vegas Metro Police Department because his lyrics were so specific that it actually detailed what he did in the murder. So the lyrics that are in the quotes here is, "I be the reason why he's dead. We still taunt him when he die. Not the reason he's dead, so celebrate the reason why his mama cry," I guess is one of the lyrics. Another set of lyrics here is, "Park the car, double back on feet. The smartest way to slide, drove in, double lock your man. Make sure you get yo bod," is another lyric that is tied into the murder. Now, I have not watched the music video, but here's what I love, dude. We live in a society of TikTok and YouTube and Instagram reels where everybody wants to be famous, and we all know those people that we grew up with that wanted to be rappers and still today think that they have a shot. And here's this fool, 25 years old in Las Vegas, murders somebody, and then immediately gets caught. And when I say immediately, he released this music video in late July, and he was arrested in early August. So he really didn't even have time to celebrate it. Didn't even have time to sign a contract, to do anything. So I'm just gonna salute this person and say, you are dumb, and you're going to spend the rest of your life behind bars. And you proved it. So that's where I'm going to go.
I sort of enjoy, I mean, yeah, dumb person, but when you were talking about how everybody wants to be a rapper, like, it's funny to me, like Tom Hanks has a son that, wants to be a rapper, and it's pretty bad. But also, like, I don't know if you saw lately in the news, I figured you did because you're a cowboy honk, Michael Irvin calling out his own son because his son's a rapper. And he was like, "Hey man, like, you rap about all this gangster stuff, and why? You come from a gated community. What the hell's wrong with you?" So I always find that to be funny, like when people act a certain way, like I said, people that aren't truthful. Yeah. It's like there's a difference. Like Little Dicky knows he's not like, but he changed it to where he raps about what he knows about, right? Or what's around him.
Little
like
penises,
there's nothing worse.
Upscale neighborhoods.
Well, it's like the epitome of the end of 8 Mile.
Yeah.
When Emin or B Rabbit goes against Clarence, and like calls it out, and then everybody like, Papa Doc or whatever. Mine is sort of a twofer, and I want you to decide who was dumb in this. And I think both people are, but I want to hear your take on it. So this one's dated from October 11th last month. A 104-year-old woman died about a week after she was supposedly broke the world record for the oldest skydiver, right? So she dies in her sleep. Now, Guinness is still trying to, at the time, Guinness was still trying to figure out if she broke the record. So one, is she dumb for not confirming it before her death? And I mean, she can't help it. She died in her sleep. She was really old. But also, do you think that also caused her to die, where it's like you were doing fine and you went skydiving and then now you're dead like a couple or about 7 days later? But two, is Guinness dumb because they should already know this. They should already fucking know if she's the oldest. Like they hold the records. Like all they have to do is look and go, has this ever happened? Did it happen? Oh, they were 103. She's 104. Done. It doesn't seem like it takes that fucking long. Am I wrong here? Or, I mean, who's dumb here? Are they all dumb? What the hell do you think?
I think that there can be people who have sky dove, I guess, or skydived. I don't know what the proper way of saying that is, where they have been older, but Guinness wasn't involved or wasn't notified. And that would also require proof and certification and all that sort of stuff. Like our friends over at the Gray's Taproom podcast, they did I don't remember how many hours straight they did the podcast for, but Guinness wasn't involved in that, even though they did secure the record. So, I would say that's that. But I just think, if you are going to fight over, being an old lady with a parachute, maybe next time just don't use a parachute.
I mean, yeah, I guess I'm more mad at them just not knowing the record thing, like you said, because if Guinness isn't involved, then it doesn't count. And I mean, the crappy thing we found out talking to them, because we were on that episode with them about the 48 hours, is you have to pay a huge fee to have you're essentially, you're doing the challenge. Okay. I'm not denying it. Like, they did the work. They did the 48-hour podcast. You know, this lady jumped out of the fucking plane and stuff.
Right.
But to get your name in it, you have to pay, like, what is it, 15 grand?
Yeah. They require quite a bit of money in order to secure, because you have to have somebody there to actually like witness it and certify it. And then I think that there's some sort of like admin costs other than that. So it costs thousands of dollars in order to do that. So yeah, I just think it's dumb. But I think you know what, dude, I'm going to change my stance here. I think that Guinness World Book of Records is dumb. And my dick is in the World Book of Records, but hold on, let me take it out real quick. And that's dumb. So yeah. So second thing on here that I was I brought up on our rundown is dumb celebrity news. So I wanted to try to find something, at least for me, that was a little bit new and a little bit new in the news. And I it was something that I really couldn't try to find, that I could find something recent. So with that, my default was to go to Oprah and The Rock. But you know what I decided? I decided I was going to go back to our good buddy Leo DiCaprio.
Okay.
Leo DiCaprio is the dude that we know that has every under 25-year-old woman that he dates sign an NDA. And that's all fine and dandy. But when Leonardo DiCaprio is caught with a 25-year-old's finger in his butt on camera, that just, I don't know that an NDA protects you there, bro. So that being the case, my newest Leonardo DiCaprio news is that today I saw this article where he has a girl's thumb in his butt. And it's not something that I think is like, I don't think it's photoshopped. According to Barstool Sports, the headline is, and this is dated on 10/30, so this was actually just a couple days ago. Leonardo DiCaprio's 25-year-old girlfriend got caught fingering his booty hole outside a Halloween party in West Hollywood. And there's photographic evidence. Now, if her finger is not in his booty hole, I don't know what she's doing. She's definitely deep enough where when she pulls it out, she's going to give the finger a sniff, if you know what I mean. So
wait. So when you put your finger in a booty hole, do you always sniff?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Why? Because it's a booty hole. You know it's going to stink.
Sometimes it smells different.
What does it smell like? All right, hold on. This is dumb. What else does it smell like? That's like, all right. I used to argue this with people.
It smells like poop.
Okay. But here's my problem. Like, it's like I used to tell a joke of like, how come every time somebody farts, you know what everybody's instant reaction is? Everybody smells. You know it's gonna stink. You're never in your life are like, oh, Fruit Loops, that's great. Like, that never fucking happens, right? So when you're telling me sometimes you stick a finger in a bum, pull it out, and you sniff it, you know it's gonna stink like shit.
Bro, we're gonna get to my dumb shit here in a minute, so we don't have to dissect my dumbness, okay? But that being the case, Leonardo DiCaprio had a finger in his booty hole. There are pictures on the internet. Check out Barstool Sports; it's right there. So, what is your dumb celebrity news?
Mine is I don't know if you ever watched the show Succession, even though I've told you to multiple times.
Yes. I'm not that far into it, but I have watched it.
All right, so you know Alan Ruck, so he's the oldest brother, the crazy one that lives in New Mexico or whatever.
Yes.
So this recently he just crashed his truck into an LA pizza shop at like 4 a.m.
Oh, nice.
So here's why it's dumb. One, I was just trying to, because the main thing I thought of, and the problem is, I think a lot of people think this, that he's gonna sort of act like his character on the show to try to like spin this, because that's the problem with actors. I could see him like turning in to his character from the show, being like, and hiring all these high-priced lawyers and looking like a fucking fool and do that. But the main reason he's stupid, if you want pizza that bad, dude, they deliver. You don't have to.
Oh, yeah.
Go, because you're probably hammered. You're probably plowed on cocaine. Something's up. You know what I mean? Because, all right. The other reason is, B-word, when the fuck do you eat pizza at 4 a.m? There's only 3 scenarios that this happens. Right. There's 3 scenarios that happen in your life. You are not sober. you just got done banging and you're like in the mood for something super greasy, or which I know is not him, you got a graveyard shift, you worked a long time, you haven't eaten in a while, and you're just like, fuck it, I'm doing this. It's like how I used to call out people or think, when I used to run like, not convenience stores, but like when I ran like deli shops, right? And people would come in at like 3 a.m. and buy like beer. I'm like, what the fuck? And one guy finally goes, I'm a trucker and like I'm going home. It's the end of my day, or not 3 a.m, but 9 a.m.
Right.
I'm going home and I'm passed out. They work. Shout out to King Labar. It's a different lifestyle, right? But this guy, this fucking guy,
Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. For people who don't know,
he and I really hope that he actually like I wish the photo would have been in it reverse, because there's so many memes would have came of that car going through it backwards, just like in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. But it's the point, like I can see him acting like his character on the show to try to get out this, like maybe not even try to get out, just start acting that way, like the fucking entitled little brat he is. Because I mean, you fucked up, and hopefully he just comes out and says he fucks up and does the fines or whatever, and all the rest comes out. But that's my dumb celebrity of the week. Not that we do this very often, so I probably didn't pick the greatest one, but it just stuck out to me.
That's still pretty good though, bro. That's still pretty good. Well, let's take a real quick break, dude, and we'll come back and talk some more dumb shit.
There are two types of people in this world: those who wait for things to happen and those who make it happen.
Here at the Moose Lounge Podcast, that's who we like to have on. The ones who are sick of the 9 to 5 and want to do what they love and feel alive.
We like to find out what they do, how they did it, and what they're doing to keep it going and stay relevant.
Don't think we're just some boring, predictable interview podcast. We do so while drinking America's only native spirit, bourbon.
So sit back,
grab a glass,
and enjoy
while you listen to us interview individuals who have turned passions into careers. Available bi-weekly everywhere you get your podcast.
Booyah.
Welcome back to the Bleach Brothers podcast. So Jake, you were trying to have me talk about me sniffing fingers. And that made me think, what stupid things do we do? And so let me share with you something that I think is absolutely stupid, and I will let people roast me about. But it's a fact that I do this every single time, and I've noticed it within the last year. So I don't know if I've been doing this for the entirety of my life, but I've certainly been doing it for a while. So aside from taking poop selfies and sending them to people, every time when I walk into a public bathroom, I sniff, I inhale.
Like I was saying about the fart thing, you have to know what you're getting into.
I do need to know. And so sometimes it saved me, where I walk into a bathroom and I take a sniff and I went, oh, fuck no. And I immediately heel to toe and I go back out. Other times I just get the scent of a decrepit ass and I realize that, yep, I'm going to do that too. And I go from there. But I do that every single time. Every single time I sit there and I do that.
I can't defend you, but because also to be weird, I do that as well. I sometimes do the pre-sniff. So I want to tell this story about me being dumb because this just recently happened. Me and my brother drove up to Port Angeles. He's already laughing. We drove up to Port Angeles, and I wanted to bring Mad Dog, my brother, on here to tell this story to prove to people how dumb I could really be at times. Because, it's different when you're talking about yourself. Like, you can embellish or you can't, or you can underdo or whatever. But this is a real moment. So welcome in. You're a great buddy, B-Word. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
My brother, Caleb. And where? As soon we don't put the video out. It's all audio. There's a dumb moment right there.
So here's a dumb moment that I see.
He just literally goes,
Caleb went and grabbed Jake's other half of his headset. And Jake's about ready to pass the microphone over, and dumb Caleb decided, I don't want to be on camera. But you know what, dude?
He was going to go get a hat. He's like, I need a hat.
Oh,
he was going to get a hat, and then I said, we don't release video, and he comes running right back. But it's like, you sat and waited right before I introduced you and then tried to fucking leave. But I want him to tell this story because I was driving, and I'm really stupid, and then I'll get into a few other things. But welcome, Caleb. Please tell a story about how stupid I was this week.
Oh, yeah. This is a good one. You'll like it, B-Word. So we're driving and going to get our tattoos done. Up on the left is a shop, and it says on a marquee, yes, we are open, roof redone, right? So Jacob's looking at it, and we're just driving straight, and he's looking at it, and he reads it, and he goes, "Yes, we are open. Roof, red one. What the fuck's a red one?" and I thought he was joking, so I'm sitting there chilling, and I'm like, okay, wait for it. I know he's probably just being an asshole. And he's looking at me, and I'm like, wait, you're fucking serious? No, it's redone. And he's like, oh, I'm a fucking retard.
Jake set a stone in full fucking display right there. I love that. But Caleb, since I have you on though,
oh shit,
you sent me a photo a little earlier this week that had to do with
multiple photos.
Yeah, multiple photos, and one of them was a beautiful looking Bleach Bros podcast logo on the back of a Jeep. But next to the Bleach Bros podcast logo was another logo.
The worst.
And can you tell me what the logo was, Caleb?
Much to my disgust and dismay, my brother was rocking a freaking Golden Knights logo on the back of his Jeep. And it'd been on there for a few hours, like on proud display for everybody to see. Right there.
Fuck the Golden Knights. Fuck the Golden Knights. FTGK.
And the funny thing is, B-word, he didn't know I sent any of that to you, much like the pictures we made the calendar out of. He had no idea. And he still didn't know that I put it on there. We're standing outside when he noticed, and his neighbors are like, wait, who did that? He was calling his coworkers, blaming his wife. Oh, it was beautiful.
Well,
yeah, I will say this. I was outside, and I turn around, and I'm talking, and all of a sudden I do this double take. Caleb goes, what? And I go, what the fuck's on my car? And my neighbor used to be a hockey coach for college, and he's a big Wild fan. And when we first moved in together, Dan, the man, as I've talked about before, the one thing I loved, he walked over, he goes, you like hockey? I was like, yeah. He goes, me too. He goes, what do you think of the Golden Knights? You're from Vegas. And I said, fuck that team. He goes, oh, thank God. So every true hockey fan knows that. But I went into full hater mode, dude, where I started blaming everybody and like snapping outside in the streets.
Well, let me read these texts to you, Jake, because I get the photo of it, and it says, I put that on Jake's car. He hasn't noticed it yet. Ha 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 ha. I respond back, I fucking love it.
Bad look right now.
And he goes, ha ha ha, yep. And I said, you got to let me know his reaction. And he goes, I will. Well, later on in the day, I get pictures of you flipping off the back of your car, which I will say it doesn't look like you're flipping off the Bleach Bros logo, so I do appreciate that. But I said, awesome. I said, he's calling his coworkers and friends to find out who did it.
I was on the phone with one, and I went, hey, dude. And my mom even goes, do you think he would spend the time, because he's my neighbor too, to drive over here? I said, yeah, everybody knows this about me. And I call him, and I just start berating him, like, what the fuck? Why? I'm not even like being like a good detective. I'm just like flipping out on people, and all of a sudden he starts laughing. He goes, I didn't do it, but I really wish I had now. And I hope you never find the person.
Well, so what you don't know is on the back end, I was texting the dads on Dayquil, and I text them the first photo, and Dome is dying, and Gnome goes, oh, Jesus, he's going to flip. Dome goes, cut to Jake breaking his back window, and then AJ goes, Jake's going to drive off a fucking cliff. So I send over Caleb's response, right, with the pictures of you flipping off the shit, and Gnome goes, I bet he's pissed. The world may burn, and now is it a bad time to text him about it? And I said, I don't know if he knows, because here's what Caleb said about him calling his friends. And so they were, dude, it was a field day.
Well, another story to bring it all full circle. So Bobby, shout out, hey yo Bobby, from AJ's mom. So they went to a hockey game. They went to a Knights game, and they were standing in front of the puck, and they were taking photos. And she texted Gnome, like she was messing because Gnome's up on the level with me with fuck the Golden Knights. But she goes, hey, please send this to Jake. And he goes, absolutely fucking not. And she goes, why? He goes, you have no idea the wrath you will unleash. He goes, he is not friendly. The world will burn. And he goes, oh, and by the way, Jake pissed all over that puck.
Well, and here's the funny part, dude, is that the one thing that I love, like team-wise, more than anything is the Dallas Cowboys. And everybody shits on me, and I'm used to everybody shitting on me. But I can't sit here and say, oh, you're Blackhawks, or oh, you're Mets, or oh, you're this, or oh, you're that, because you never have the reaction. So to kind of open the curtain, the last little bit when we're going back and forth, I started saying, go Knights, go, every time you'd piss me off. And eventually you had a fucking meltdown, and I loved it. But the meltdown was caused because I said, we're going to change all of our Bleach Bros logos to be Golden Knights logos. And you're like, I fucking quit the podcast. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. Fuck you, B-word. Fuck you, B-word. I hope you die. Fuck you, B-word. And I have to say, dude, the reaction was as pure and as it exceeded expectations. I loved it.
In my defense. In my defense. Like, I feel like Amber Heard's lawyer right now. In my defense. After I shit on your bed, I was just sitting there thinking, okay, you know, I'm mad, but and the reason was, B-word, I didn't care that you kept saying gold. I mean, it pisses me off, but it was more that as much as I shit on your team, I would never change the logos of our show to like do it. And I will say, the thought has crossed my mind millions of times. Like I've thought of like some messed up things to post, but I also like try to control myself because there was, you know, whenever I get control of some of the social media, it never ends well for us. I'm usually in jail. Somebody's mad, or me just like flipping them off, calling them a cunt and saying the F word 19 million times until we get blocked. So I restrained. But when you told me we were going to change all our stuff to that's where I lost it. That's where I lost it. And I was not in a good space. And I will say, when this happened, I was so mad where I was blaming my wife. I was in my house stomping. Like, I was so mad, and I was storming around. I was calling people, and I'm flipping out. And so then I was like I kept texting my neighbors, like blaming them, until my daughter caved. My oldest daughter, Lila, caved and told me, and everybody's like, why would you tell him? She goes, he gave me that look. And when that look happens, the world is over. So it happened. But good on you, Caleb. You fucked with me, and I hate you.
I fucking love everything about it, Caleb. So, well, since you're on the show, dude, and speaking of, you know, stupid shit that people have done, what's something stupid that you have done? Like, share that with us.
Just left to go get a freaking hat that I'm not going to be on camera for. Case in point, that's just one.
Yeah. So you want to talk about a bullet?
Oh, a bullet?
The butthole bullet.
Yeah, the butthole bullet.
Well, that wasn't really me doing anything stupid.
Your reaction was a good reaction to the dumb.
Well, yeah, but you guys already know that story. I mean, Jake's prancing around poking my mom with a bullet I shoved up a chick's ass while I was railing her. I mean, what reaction am I supposed to have?
The best is the bullet's like 12 inches long, dude. The thing's like a fucking, it's the size of our dicks. I mean, it's fucking huge.
Yeah. So
it's a 30 millimeter.
Did you loop said bullet?
Well, I mean, I spit on it. So yeah.
Wait. This is back to you, B-word. Did you sniff it when you were done?
Did I sniff it?
Yeah.
No.
No? B-word, every time B-word fingers a butthole, he smells it.
So you smell it every time you wipe?
I mean, I have to make sure I'm not dying.
No, okay. Makes sense.
And I also
we know you're dying. We were all in Arizona with you in an Airbnb when you shit. And the worst part is, that was that moment you were just talking about in the bathroom. That's what I was going to talk about. I walk in the Airbnb and home goes, oh, and I think it smells good, like cleaner. And I walk in, I go, oh my God, what is that? And we were all sitting around, and then finally Caleb on the couch goes, it's B-word's asshole. He's in the bathroom and it's seeping under the door. That the whole downstairs. And the worst part is, I know that you were afraid to go to the one bathroom where we took a photo of me where you could see everything. And so you used the bathroom closest to all of us and decided to wreck it. It was so bad.
I put in work. Your brother was sound ass asleep too.
Oh yeah, I had no idea until everybody woke me up, and then I had to enjoy it with everybody else. Just bask in the ambience. B-word's ass ambience.
All right, so Caleb, so for those people who are listening that don't know about you, you're a Marine. You're a badass. Like if you ever need to be in a fight, like we want you on our side, kind of thing. But tell me something, because this is the next topic we have. Why do you think the world is stupid?
Why do I think the world is stupid?
Yeah.
I think mainly because people, like as a mass, are stupid. Person is smart, but people are fucking retarded. I think it's mostly because we have pussy generations. I mean, nobody's tough anymore. You fucking talk shit and keyboard commandos. Everybody runs their fucking mouth, and then you go to smack a motherfucker, and then they cry, and you get arrested. It's horse shit, dude. I mean, Just like Tyson said, everybody's tough until they get punched in the face, and I think more people need to get their asses kicked.
I agree with you. Actually, we do live in a pansy society, and I really don't like that. But Jake, microphone over to you real quick. What is your reasoning for why the world is stupid? Is it because
the younger generation's the fucking worst? The younger generation's the worst. I hate them. I hate millennials. I defected from that group. If people call me that, I fucking hate all of them. The Golden Knights exist because of this generation. There's so many problems. Like, I got a story about fucking Dunkin' Donuts down the road from my brother's house with Gnome. Gnome was there and my brother was there. And I have problems with donut shops in Vegas too. Pink Box is worse. We will get to the Pink Box moment. What I want to talk about is the stupid young generation where, one, they don't accept cash anymore. So they don't like money. They don't accept cash. But I walk in and there's this giant robot dildo of an iPad in front of me. This giant screen, right? And they say, place your order here. There's 5 people staring at me working with nobody. It's not like they're so busy they can't keep up handing out the fucking chocolate donuts, right?
Right.
So I'm standing there waiting to order, and Gnome and Caleb are just laughing. And I'm just like, when are they going to take my fucking order? This girl's staring at me. And Caleb goes, you put it on the fucking robot machine, Jake. And I'm like, fuck that. I start going off. I'm like, she is right there. And she's just staring at me, not saying a word, just waiting for me to type it in. As soon as I type it in, you know what she does? She looks at the screen. She walks over, grabs my stuff, doesn't even say hello, doesn't do anything, just puts it on a counter, and I pay. And I start flipping out in the restaurant. And Gnome is just like, okay, old man, my God, I was so mad. But worse, Caleb is right, is Pink Box. And this will sum up the generation. We go to Pink Box, right? Because Caleb everybody knows I love donuts, so he wanted to take me to get a few good donuts. And it was for the kids too. And so we go in, and there's a donut called a creme brulee donut. Now, for people that don't know, creme brulee is a technique that you do on top of the cream. You brulee it, and it gives a nice crust, and it cooks the sugar, right? So I look at the kid, and I go, hey, what's inside? Because you can see it's a filled donut. I go, what's in the creme brulee donut? And this stoner little douche motherfucker looks up and goes, creme brulee.
Creme brulee.
And I go, no, I know, but what's in it? He goes, creme brulee, bro. And I go, no. And so then Caleb's just laughing next to me. And I start explaining to this kid what creme brulee is. And I pull that Karen moment, like, I'm a fucking chef. This is what this means. And I'm start going off, and the kid's just glazed over staring. And he goes, yeah, there's creme brulee in it, bro. And Caleb taps me. He goes, just give up. And so he goes, so do you want one? I said, no, I do not want a creme brulee donut. And the girl working there goes, it's just some kind of cream or something. I don't know. And I was so mad. And then to top it, the machine broke, and he couldn't figure out how to ring me out. And he goes, so do you want to keep waiting? I said, oh, I'm going to wait all day for you, buddy. And Caleb just walked out and goes, I'm going to the truck, and just walked off and just left me in there.
The donuts.
So let's go back to dumb shit. Okay. Now, you two went and got tattoos. I personally don't think that they're dumb, but Caleb, you probably have the best tattoo out of the two. Like, I know that Jake's probably has a little bit more meaning, but can you detail the tattoo that you got? Like, it's fucking epic.
Oh yeah, it's an Ice Age squirrel, running after my nuts.
And it's perfectly placed. Like,
trust me, we had to get down, and he placed it twice and was like, is it close enough? Hold your legs straight. I mean, it's the closest I've ever had a guy next to my junk and wasn't uncomfortable.
Well, I sat there and, dude, I have to be honest. It was not the gayest moment of my life, but it's one of those up there. I had to zoom in because I was like, how close is this going to be to his swinging nutsack? And you don't have like the swinging nutsacks in the world, but you guys have the peckers. Mm-hmm. And so I had to zoom in a little farther than that than I normally would have for like a regular man, And so I felt super, super homosexual, and I'll accept that. But I absolutely love the placement. Now, Jake,
I felt Alabama homosexual. And here's what happened. Roll Tide. Okay, I'm just going to admit this because he was also wearing crimson red underwear. I did not. Okay, so Caleb goes, hey, I'm going to take a photo for you, right, of your tattoo, getting it. So I decide I'm going to be a good brother and take a photo of this tattoo happening. Little did I know that my brother likes to wear like shinesty, like really tight form-fitting underwear. So I like get my seat on. And Caleb, I get to see him laughing because he's like propping himself, getting all ready, and I'm over there like fixing my chair and like getting all ready. And I go to sit down and I look up and I'm really close, and there's just his dickhead right in my face, and I'm just like, damn it. So, but here's the problem, B-word. I had a decision to make. I'm already there. I got my brother's dickhead in my face. My other friend is right near his nutsack, drawing scrat, like praying to his balls. And I'm like, I still got to take the photo, but I don't want to be gay about it. So I'm trying to figure out how not to come across like a fucking redneck, white trash, Alabama gay yellow wolf, like cock gobbler. So I zoom in, right? Doesn't help because I'm not good at aiming cameras, I found out. All I did was zoom out on his dick, and I had to like go down. And Caleb's like, what's taking so long for the photo? And I'm like, you don't want to know. You don't want to know what's going on right now. So I take a picture, and then he has me take more photos. So now I'm his fucking like OnlyFans photographer over here getting this done. And as I'm like going to post it online and I send it to my wife, I'm cropping out his penis as many times as possible. Not that I'm ashamed or afraid of it, but also I don't want everybody to know that I'm this close to his dick right now. And his mushroom stamp of approval is coming through the underwear. And Caleb is like, and here's the best part. He's laying like that scene of what's his name from fucking Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park, Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, yeah.
He's literally propped up because the guy's like, you want a pillow to prop up? So Caleb's propped up, penis out, dick, like, hanging, fucking ball grabbing squirrel right on his leg. And my buddy's like almost like right up in it. And I'm just like, I'm gayer than AIDS right now. Like, I'm so gay right now. I'm taking photos of my brother's pecker.
I got tattoo of the day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this chick walked in and she was doing, you roll the dice and you get what you get for Halloween type of tattoos. And so she was getting the Scream face, and she's walking by, and this guy's arm basically touching my nutsack, and the other guys are just laughing their asses off about it. And she's walking by, and he goes, "Oh, check out what this dude's getting." So she walks over and just meat gazes the entire time and sees a big smile on her face. They're like, "Oh yeah, he gets tattoo of the day."
My other favorite part, there's 3 women in there, and I never announced I was his brother until my friend did. And so then the 2 behind us, not that they were attractive, but they started looking at me like, you've been sitting there in his crotch this whole time. Like, what kind of brothers are you? But every woman in there. It would have been worse if I snipped. But every woman in there was just staring towards my brother's direction. And he's just laying there proud, like fucking like Simba just like got anointed. Like, oh, hell yeah. I'm going to raise the Lion King. All you are my lionesses. I can't wait to spunk all over your forehead and rub it in. Like, it was fun. It was crazy. It was a fun little town. It was a great drive. We saw some funny stuff on the way. We saw this
billboard
porn shop, and it was called Muffy's. And it was a bong shop too. So me and Caleb called it Muffy's Bongs and Dongs. And it was like Twilight Zone though, because we were going to take a photo on the way home. And it was one of those situations like the Mandela effect. When we were driving back, we couldn't find it. And it was on the main road. So we don't know how we missed it, because it was like bright pink fucking building too. That just said Muffy's all over it. But we missed this whole building, but it was a good time.
That's fantastic. So Jake, what is the tattoo that you got, and what does it mean?
I got Donnie Darko's numbers for What Is the End of the World. And I'm trying not to be that loser like when people ask me, because like I'm in that stupid moment right now, B-word, where I don't know how to answer this. Like, do I do the stupid line? Like, those people that that are like super Star Wars nerds, that when you ask someone like, do or do not, there is only try. Like when somebody asks me like, what is that? Do I answer it's when the end of the world is? Or do I say it's the Donnie Darko's numbers, right? Because I don't want to be lame, but I also know sometimes that, I don't know, like, answer that. Like, how should I just?
Well, as soon as you got it, I was like, okay, yeah, we've had this conversation before, and it actually looked pretty damn good. And I was like, okay, I know exactly what that is. But then trying to explain that, because it's just a series of numbers, and if somebody doesn't know what it is, they think that you, like, especially in the Portland area, you're just trying to think that you were in Auschwitz or something. So,
right.
So that being the case, I would just say it's from Donnie Darko, and it's allow them to explain it, But overall, dude, it's not a dumb tattoo. Neither of them are dumb tattoos. I love the dumb stories, though. It's always good to have Caleb on the show. I wish we would have had Caleb on, when you wouldn't have forgot a fucking cord.
No, I didn't forget a cord. I don't have the correct cord. And here's the thing. I still haven't done anything with that. I still have that cord in my box. And so next year when we meet up, I'm probably bringing that cord again.
So on a level from 0 to 10, Caleb, how dumb is this episode?
How dumb is this episode?
Yeah.
Well, I'm on it, so I'm going to say it's like a 6.
It's a 6. All right. Jake?
Well, since I'm Alabama gay, I'll say a 9, and we go together.
Roll Tide.
Well, since you did the brotherly shove into the brotherly tug and all that sort of shit with the 69 in Alabama's and all that sort of shit, I'm gonna go with this as a 10 dumb. This is a 10 dumb, but I love it and I think it's gonna be good.
It's like so with that, Jake, roof.
Yeah, exactly. So with that, man, what do you got for me?
Thanks for all the dirty talk and come back and get sanitized. This is Jake from the Bleach Bros podcast, and thank you for listening to today's episode. If you're a fan of our show, be sure to check out this one to stay sanitized.
Haha, what's poppin', y'all? It's your boy Date Money, and every Monday, join us on every streaming service on the Bromigos podcast.
Come talk shit with your boy Panama Red.
And you better not forget me, head advocate of the Big Titty Committee and undercover brother, Motorboatin' Matt.
And me, Hoochie Daddy Sleppy. I guess my new name is Hoochie Man Hunter. Now.
Yeah! I was hoping you were going to say that.
We talk all things sports, sex, and more. Coming to you raw and uncensored. Ain't nothing off limits.